crash from FUT, they'll again set their sights on that A site. Without those tech issues, we'll see how these fights go down.
Yeah, now almost just becomes a game of, do you do the same?
The vines have gone up. That's going to slow them a moment. It's going to get the rotations coming through as Martine's making his way to the spawn. But the players on site have a bit of a fight. It was flawless last time, but now FUT are putting up a bit of a better fight. 4 versus 3 as the spike is going down and no contention possible. This is looked like a little bit of a better scenario until Sagetsu drops Zeus and we're back to even footing with a snake in the grass of Martine up close waiting to emerge from that smoke. Flank on its way around, but a little late from Sadik. Martine's gone early and he's been caught. The herd thinning out. Sadik's flank finally gets one. They know where the last player is, but it's Mr. Fallen. Salvo's online and he'll use them in a moment. For now, the time not really pressuring him, and he'll use them as the rotation comes around, moving into a new angle. The defuse started. It's going to be halfway, but here comes Mr. Fallen swinging in.
Is a little much.
He doesn't get the kill. The clock, what he's playing with here, attempting to run it all the way down. The shoulder peek's working. Sadik gets the kills, but the clock desperately low. Too low, in fact. It was flawless from KC last time, but 1-0 to...
Their pistol round strat to almost run it identically. Like, the same salvos were thrown in, the same util to the back of site, but this time winning the battles at a captain, farming up a few, but we're now looking mostly at Zeus. I can't afford to lose any more players.
It's going to start to get costly. Oh man, Aves even wins that fight. Onto Yedege of all people, swinging wide, and another opportunity to put bodies on the floor. Sadik's coming in, a classic in hand, half HP on Zeus, but an upgrade to a Bulldog at least. There is a real opportunity, especially if they go for this plan to 1v1, could be isolated. We'll see it here. Oh, it's Sadik getting the first and the second. It might. There's a wall waiting for them before, but the setup has changed.
Yeah, very careful approach from the side of KC, just with those stars.
Okay, Marty.
No, Tom, you were ahead of the curve, okay?
Yeah.
Cerebral gameplay from Tom the Biz, and Sadik picking up another, this time through the smoke. These one's a little easier than the fight he had last time, but he knows just how dangerous it is. With the shot just in time, and that'll pull it back to a 1v1. So desperately close to taking it across the line, but the defuse under his nose. The swing! It's KC gonna push right up into mid, and now they know where Yedege is. He could be in trouble, has some support on the sideline, but he's caught off by Sagetsu, and Ada Captain just fades away. They try to take control of the space on A as a result, but the off is waiting for them. Martine upgrading his sniper. And this time to great success as FUT are left with just 3.
Yeah, different approach coming in now. But of course, FUT have already acknowledged that maybe there is some freedom to be had on B since the operator's playing on A, but watch out, you never know with that Yoru.
But mostly locked out from one angle inside of Art.
They have the stall. The FUT have decided to go for something far more direct based off having a few weaker weapons. They're being slaughtered though, not able to get past that cross whatsoever, and it is all too easy. This wasn't an eco. Obliterated. One player alive, saving guns for the next, and then only getting a singular kill. This is about as good as it could get for KC. They are flying high. And I'm a bit concerned. Like, the last round, you're trying to go for these all-in direct takes, but you give up a lot of space. And with what they've already seen, with aggressive pushes coming through from KC quite regularly, they had to know that quite quickly they were going to fix.
And an op that they were up against in one of those fights, it could have presented an opportunity. But KC fell back, they gave the space, and they're confident. that they can just chip away at whatever site the push comes in on. And you can see there is no worry. So far, we're on track for an in-zone flawless. And with a stunned up Mr. Fallen Classic in hand, there was no other conclusion possible. KC, 5 players alive, in-zone flawless, and 5 rounds on the board. This defensive side is looking very hard to crack. Remains to be seen. If he gets contact, possibility to fall back. With the fight coming in on the B site, gets the TP in. Zeus with a double opening. And now, well, have whatever flank you like, KC. The site is there for FUT. The plant secured. And indeed, you can see that Martin is going to go back towards middle, perhaps into the waiting arms of Yedege.
Yeah, he's got incredibly deep control, even has a cam to play off as well, so any surprise factor will be gone within a second. And the second he turns around, a really nice little setup for Yedege to just get an easy pick. For the remaining 2, they have unlimited credits. They are literally at the peak, so the idea is to, well, not even get the ults online, it's just about doing damage, as both already available.
Do you want to, as we're saying, you know, like you already have your ultimates. I think it's time to maybe like remove yourself. Okay, there is some damage if you're Vest.
But it comes at a cost. Weapons on the floor, Aves with a 3.
Zeus and Mr. Fallen have always been able to bring as a combo those explosive plays, and that worked for them in the last round. This far, it's an aggressive one that fails miserably. The rest of the team not even able to capitalize. Sugetsu coming out with 2, but Yedege and Mr. Fallen have evened things up.
FUT a little late, bringing this spike to site. And if it's a 1-by-1 fight, Elite may have a real chance to just end this round here and now, but the ult is sent in, and he's sent out of elbow, out of the round. Still one watching from up above. And what do they have to deal with it? Can't put a smoke in, instead just having to swing in, but luckily Aves was tight in the corner, not able to pick them until the plant is already down. A 2 versus 2 as a result. And Martin putting the dimensional drift into play to try to find these last players.
And they have the info on where the majority are for one side, and he's trying to garner it for his squad. 2 versus 2. Both players spotted, but it seems like both players are going to end up losing their fight.
As the plant comes in from FUT, Mr. Fallen previously got shredded as soon as the spike hit the ground. This time, he'll be able to retreat and set those salvos up. KC want to get ahead of the problem. Already picking off Zeus before he can fall back. Spotting order. Oh, spamming in fact, but Sadik gets nothing for his trouble. Up goes the Cosmic Divide, but that's the signal for Yedege. He's going to start his flank, wrapping his way all the way around, and all they have to do is delay, but they can't! They're all in the ground! All the spam's giving Yedege away, and he can't stop the defuse from there. That could have been the flank that changed the game, but instead, the round was already lost. Seeing Yedege side out of captain. Just a few pixels away from being picked off by Martin, but it's Zeus to give away the opening duel. Sadik.
5 seconds to make their move. There's now 3 players on this side. They also have the stun, potentially even the grab one. They're going to try and swing off the back of it. Elite does well. Sugetsu in tandem, and that clock is now ticking very fast against FUT, but they find the openers. Both kills incredibly quick. They're going to get the spike back. Reckoning already in. It'll reveal them and stun them up. Somehow Yedege survives the shot from the operator, so desperately low, but he'll come out with 4. I don't know.
Back.
He will.
That was Tom speaking. This is Tom. I'm Tom.
Right.
I'm Mitch.
It's weird, Tom. Your voice sounds a lot lower than normal, as in from where it's coming from.
Wow. With Aves tagged up already, the defenders of the B site could be in trouble. The Arsenal being brought over to Elite, and the weapons out of the hands of FUT. They're not able to stand a chance in that first fight. You've still got the wall to break on through. That's going to isolate one of these players, leaving out a captain on his own.
Still, we've already seen massive rounds from him already, and the 2-for-1 make it a 3rd as he swings back around, leaving Sugetsu standing alone. Back to back. 35 seconds left on the clock, a rotation already coming in from Zeus to join them, but Mr. Fallen wants to try and be the hero himself. They're not expecting him within the smoke. It's the surprise factor of the leader. He may not think he's one of the better aimers, one of the better Teos. Oh, I question what KC think at this point.
Well, they think the round's gone. 12 seconds.
They have a spike to retrieve in 10 seconds, Mitch.
4 players to run past, and one of them's Mr. Fallen. He's got his own 4K up on the board.
That's 3 in a row.
Yes.
Got jealous of Ada Captain in the previous round, and you know, the best part is, a humble guy that he is, he's probably going to say, that was all Ada Captain, great spot.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of IGLs at the moment that when things go bad, will try and put the rounds on their back. I think Mr. Fallen is one of the few I don't mind, because he genuinely...
Attack grouped up, safety in numbers perhaps. Spams don't land on anyone. A decent start. Sadik up to his old tricks, but he's only good for one. And it should be housekeeping from this point. I like the little crossfire that they were attempting to put into place. Getsu and Aves.
Cracks, give me a 4K.
One enemy remaining.
Nice from Sagetsu. A little more of the damage would be felt, and it got a little bit closer than I like to see.
Only 3.
Oh, Lord. But they survived.
All I'm going to say is the KC classic stonks are going through the roof right now. He's hiding in smokes. What other gun would you want?
Exactly.
Probably a Judge, but...
Based.
Oh, they're coming his way. Chance! Mr. Fallen with one. Stun up close and a fallback. Salvos to be sent.
He's got his ult.
This is going to be sent through. That's going to force them forward. Right into the Bucky. Mr. Fallen. He's not even taking the weapons on the ground. He knows what he wants. And it's another Bucky kill. Decoy sent through on the flash, but Mr. Fallen. He's got it.
You guys can shoot. They definitely can.
Supposed to get an ace.
Yeah.
Mr. Fallen has to up him with an ace from a Bucky. Martin, well, he was going to try and bring something back. 4K maybe? Add a captain, try and add another to the tally. He's under serious pressure, going to run out of bullets. That doesn't help. Prax is there to try and react, but they've got to be careful. Maybe getting a little bit overzealous in this round, a little overconfident behind the pillar. Put them low, but it's just down to time. No, he's going to check close. Was a little bit nervous about that position. Spike tapped. Horn utilized. Nice shot from Elite. This is going to be an immediate swing back, an important round to take. It would have been the mental completely obliterated, but an immediate response and
applied onto Zeus. A flash around the back and a spam from Yedishe. That's done quite a bit of damage, and they're just waiting for that wall to fall. Zeus gets ahead of it. That Crack stepping in is put in the dirt. Zeus wants to keep control of the back site, but a swing in leaves
Formation onto site. The 3v3 in all the positions are favoring KC for this post plant.
There's nothing left to block vision once the smoke goes down. Mr. Fallen's got one through it. That's a good start. Off the spike as it's already gotten to half. They want to force the fight. Send out a captain claiming head. Sagetsu tries to deny, but... And also, you know, if you're FUT right now, add a captain, having the ult, Mr. Fallen in the same boat, I imagine retakes would be a serious option. But they go fighting, looking for those duels, and Sagetsu, sure, he goes down. But with the weaker weapons, one-to-one trades, especially when you're on the attack side, you're not going to turn your nose at that. It's a decent start for KC. See if they can make a little bit more work.
I wonder if they got rid of the gun. I'm sure they did. Or actually, I can hear it being juggled. Okay, they did. That means it can't be retrieved. And already spotting
oh my God, he has ult again.
Push through art.
I'd be so scared if I was KC. I see Mr. Fallen and I'm like, guys, run.
Would he even bother using it here? You already have a player advantage. Sure, there's a single gun. Okay, well, there's no opportunity now. And Martin's found an ultimate of his own. That'll be information.
Shoot me.
Trying to get his teammates the kill, and that's exactly what will happen. Another advantage found. In fact, Elite's still going, and the only man left is Zeus.
1 against 3. A lot of clutches for FUT. A lot of big plays. His teammates have led the charge in so many of them. This one looks so difficult, even getting rid of some of that utility. Look at what's waiting on long. 2 players stacked up, and it's Elite. Prowler catching 1. KC may look to pounce on that.
Well, that's not going to do much.
No, not taking anything away. I'm really
that's the spike.
Logic there. Spike goes deep and gets dropped. Now they go jumping through. This is messy from KC, a team that's looked controlled so far. But now they're being controlled. The ultimate of Mr. Fallen sends them back, runs this clock down, 14 seconds, spike behind enemy lines, and a cosmic divide blocking them off. There is...
That spike was actually for the defenders.
They even prowlered Yedishe. They saw he was on the right, and then Sadik looks left on the way through. Madman.
Hello. Martin, though.
Well, it didn't prove to be.
He at least can't ace us with a shorty.
Well, that's what you think. You might regret that. Sadik, this time he gets the better of them inside the cove. Inside it, not outside. That's the key piece of information. Dive back from Martin. Spike down. Oh, okay, but Mr. Fallen's baited into using his utility, so that one doesn't work out. And, well, KC look a lot better in this round up against what should be more resistance.
Spike planted.
A bit more of the same plan, right?
That was it, it's the synergy. The difference in synergy there was huge because before, I think just when you're up against a low buy, you can let go a miss. But I think they've utilized it just to try and clear some of those mid positions that they've had problems with, already getting full information on where this guy is, but he still manages to take down Sadak.
It's at least one. The numbers on site, though, still going to allow a plant. They tap it to bait the fights, and the trades are at least found. KC doing well. The spike finally finds its way to the floor. The spams through the smokes in return. Not going to land anything. Sugetsu does well to provide that bit of cover. But the spot that they've planted in, it's not going to allow them to fall back to long. That's why Sugetsu's keeping that control later on towards the laneway. He'll have a crossfire here with Martine. Once they step their way out, and it's looking clean. Captain finds one, knows Martine is close, but can't deal with him. And now escaping back with the gate crash. Ult online, and a gate crash sent back into the elbow. That can be used just to cause a headache for Yedege, who even now is clearing out those angles. Good swing from Martine.
Has gotten that orb. If he gets the spike down, he will also have that cosmic divide in case they need it for that post plant.
Oh, I have a feeling they will not.
Yep.
Weaponry not the best, and FUT's plan is to try and get ahead of it. They know that if it gets into a post-plant scenario, they don't have the utility or the weaponry if those players are all sat back towards long. So they try and play up front. It didn't work this time.
Captain
From Zeus. The ultimate had been put into play. Information found earlier, but they could definitely use it now. The decoy will be the one to try to claim it. Mr. Fallen, good only for a trade. And look at the position. Oh, and a captain. The position of Aves, though. This was what drew my eye, but Krax has caught him around the edge of the smoke. It's been round after round put up. KC seemed to have full control, but now locked out by a cosmic divide. They know exactly where Sugetsu is. He hasn't got a star on, so he's got to peek his head through. And Captain rips it clean off with a three-piece. FUT are up to 12.
And love to see that, of course, FUT still has the...
Or to bring FUT. KC's map choice with a map under their belt. It's Martine who's going to try to be the difference maker. Up close, good spray. Catches out a captain, the hero of the previous round, and tucks himself in close, but it's suspected. Zeus receives a shot through the wall. His head barely hanging on. Sadak is down to 6 HP, and Mr. Fallen on 30. Everybody's tagged. It's going to be a narrow margin by which we decide if this is OT or map 2, and with Zeus falling, it's looking more and more likely that we haven't seen the end of Pearl yet. Yedege late, making his way through Art, but they're ready and waiting for it. 20 seconds. The plant needs to be secured, and that means a cross for Sadak, but he's found one, and Elite will finish it off, bringing us... And a lot of KC's game plan was around either deep control on B or leaving the Vice Wall there, and then this mid re-aggression.
He's almost got... I'm not sure they will.
Oh, I'm seeing Yoru walk that way, add a captain down with the spike. 15 seconds left. KC know what's going on. They've seen the cam. They know the contact is coming this way. 10 seconds left, and that's it. There is no way for Mr. Fallen to get this plant in. With 5 players, he'd need a god-tier spray. He'd back up. Martine could have his work cut out for him if Yedege does decide. They both got utility in their hand. This is really stressing me out. Nice decoy usage, though, as Sadak finds the pick. It's only going to be Zeus. Typically, he's TP'd back. He's played from their spawn. But this time he sticks around and notices that they've left B. That gets Mr. Fallen going back to the A side. And a captain with the double, and FUT still have a chance.
Sugetsu in position. 12 seconds left on the clock. They need to get rid of this man before they can do too much more, and that's exactly what Martine will do. But now Mr. Fallen in position as well, battling versus Sugetsu. It's Zeus still on that long rotation, trying to sell the steps with the fake out, trying to give the idea that maybe he's gone a different way. But look how passively the attack has moved. Look how far back they are sitting. Sugetsu has been spotted, but a move here is not going to be possible at all, and Martine will be there. Struggled against some of those individual plays, and well, they're going to match up very early on versus Zeus.
Oh, the stun didn't quite land. Martine able to...
Walking onto side already.
They'll head
30
into
seconds left.
cracks in the Yedege. 20 seconds left, so they are going to be making their move into this side of the map. Sadak wins his battle, and Krax so desperately low with the remaining players not quite in a spot. I was going to say to fight this one, but Mr. Fallen will try. At a captain. Always been very good with the classic, but 4 players.
Maybe if it was the KC Classic, it would be a different result.
They got a lot of 4Ks, but this would have to be a pretty big mistake. Don't think there's going to be one made already. First kill does go his way, but getting back out of this is not going to be easy. Very nice attempt from Matt.
First time, I'm sure, for much of our audience for the first time. You probably don't see the Harbor in ranked, and if you do, the other team probably surrenders. So, 1-0 on the board, and KC, again, housekeeping. You're up against Classics. You shouldn't be losing that much. They've got a margin for error, which is already being pushed with Elite falling down, but Sadik can recover any weaponry that goes by the wayside if Abez does end up falling. Carrying those 3 rifles through to the next round is all that really matters, and that's why Zeus is trying to make this costly. Those shots don't quite land. So
In his direction, falling to the spike. Of course, you look at the ultimates on the other side. You don't want to give Sanak an opportunity to get that reckoning early. So he's just going to die.
Night early, is it? This Vito, I mean, you're playing out week 2, Lotus 13-2 to KC. Week 3, Pearl 13-2 to KC. They're happy to play both of these maps, and for FUT, feels like they've been on the back foot, especially now having lost that initial map. A lot of questions around how this Lotus can play out, bringing in that new agent of Wele, but like you said, Tom, it does feel like players often struggle to get it done with that. Add a captain and Mr. Fallen, though, no struggles here. KC walk in, take control over the site, but they want that little bit more. They get punished.
I think maybe they expected 1, maximum 2 players to be just waiting around that corner instead. I think it was the either jump spot or jump.
It's not intended to be that A site that's the final hit. Players grouped up outside B. Shorty in hand, and Martin! No! He's got a little more, but Zeus is holding tight. Brings it player position in the process of breaking it. Paranoia, though, opens the door for cracks. He's seen one, doesn't know. He's seen the player close, but Sagetsu caught him as well.
How's that a headshot?
They're both sat within a similar position. This is not going to be an easy spot to clear, maybe not even one expected, and just...
So often you'll see those rotations back to the B site, but that's not the case this time. Deep smoke as well, a one-way for Martin to play around the jump through, dangerous, and Zeus is punished immediately. He goes back for more! And through the smoke, he's dropped Mr. Fallen! I don't know how Sagetsu saw cracks, but this round, oh, it has quit.
The KC roster right now.
Yedajay with a rifle will be the one to try. The only real danger in this round other than the flank, and he has managed to take down...
Far from it. Stun could help. The old one by Zeus. I didn't expect to see it here. Saturate even, but the rifles are down below. Martin, it's not quite an opening duel, but he's been flawless in those so far. 4-0. 2 more to take down. And the ult used, but Yedajay, he's sneaking his way around the door. Great reposition. He was spotted. Elite caught him. Yedajay's the one to land the shot. Martin comes out of ult, pops in. Best ult in the game, of course. Of course. And he manages to grab the plant. Coming out of the ultimate, no more utility to fall back on. Martin's going to have to do this. Just a man and his rifle.
He's out the steps. He
He
been
did.
close enough. He's going to go looking and finds the kill onto Yedajay. Maybe a little bit worried that there's still a second player around this position, but instead, he's going to go all the way around. Might get a little bit nervous, but he's just going to play the game. Realizes, okay, maybe my opponent could have been sticking this. I have to go for the run. I have to sprint into this one. Flash, dodge, can't quite land the shot. Mr. Fallen will have enough time to get that defusal over the line. It's a second for FUT, but it is desperately close.
2 ultis so far.
From Aspas go kill to Martin go kill. Sanak truly is a mastermind.
Oh, no!
Oh, he needs a new strat this round.
That'll be 4-1 in opening duels now. Great shot by Mr. Fallen. And that's now 2 kills in a row for him up against good old Martin. Site take attempted, but the Rolling Thunder back in response. Great delay. Sees, lands. They know there's a player trapped up close. Paranoia catches one, but that's not the player. They've got to deal with Abez, and they do. That's the spike now on the floor. And Sadik and Elite in a 2v4, spread out, surrounded, and not even close to the spike.
Still moments of diciness. Sadak trying to take this round into his own hand. The problem, though, is where the spike is.
You know?
I think he's just going to go ramping back around instead.
Really?
Realizing that the picks are far more important in this case, especially when he's so low. The element of surprise, but Yedajay is so aware of this position. Good read from Yedajay.
but you know that they've retaken the control now, but you also know there's 2 players towards A long. At that point, there's either a rotation off C or a push up, and they've learned it was the latter of the 2. With Yedege taking only 1, the C site seems to be up for grabs, but great ultimate to contain that info.
Now there's 30 seconds. They don't know if they're running into a stack of players because they've been delayed. It would be foolish to try and play through a site with no sound. Zeus about to lose his weapon, but that ult takes a long time to activate. That's enough for him to get 2 kills off the back and up close and personal. Is it really used them as a litmus test, but kind of have to hope there's going to be a little bit more here in the setup from Yedege has just got.
See, this isn't a round that they should be winning. They've got weaknesses. Even just look at what they've got in the late fights after players have fallen. Still a Stinger and a Sheriff, and I was going to mention what Elite had, but he's already gone, dealt with as Yedege storms the site. And Sagetsu's left to do it all. FUT continues streaking rounds together. And it's Yedege streaking kills one after another.
Although with the Reckoning, they know that they can force Yedege out of position without too much trouble. Now, they've always wanted to fight forward, and this time they're a little bit more aggressive with it. Even still, though, Aves bites a bullet of his own, and it will still be even on this retake with Zeus Ultimate online. This is not going to be easy.
Martin's caught stepping forward. A player down now for KC. Time ticking, and Elite with a double. They're right back in it. The walk through the smoke gets nothing, and Mr. Fallen, he's all alone. We've seen him win clutches. Oh, that was desperately close. A headshot, but the wall got in the way.
We can be a little bit cheeky with our plays. And why? I think you're pointing to it now.
Whoa.
They've got the dimensional drift again. I don't even think Zeus knew where he was.
No, he's like, oh, they put a box here.
I can do this?
Wow. Wow. Luckily, it's a trade out.
No Sadak to get in this time, though.
Yeah, you're missing that utility. Martin's going to bridge the gap already, seizing so much space out of Captain, though, picking off Sagetsu. His teammates now leaving. He's vulnerable to 2 angles. It's not an easy position to play from, and they need to win this fight against Yedege in the spawn. They do not. A first pick, but no follow-up. He dodges the flash that isn't there.
I think it was a team flash that was about to come through. Aves looking for the fight and will be gone at it. Even goes back for a little bit more.
Maybe having players, but the plan's secured, and they're looking for control up in heaven. They've got it too, but then using it as an extra angle to fight from the cove, blocking off some of the players. In fact, FUT are able to flood back in, isolating duels, and it's Zeus taking them all. Martin, he's locked out.
It's done.
There's nothing he can do about this unless they make big mistakes. And
know that
he's a second-half player.
If he can have that C-site hold on lock, it really does change the game for KC. That's not the start they were looking for. Paranoia around the full setup.
Oh!
And he's out.
Oh, the refract
Treated
used to get him right back out. But the spike down on the floor, the wraparound coming in. Sadic's not long for this world with Mr. Fallen roaming around the back site. A third map that they're hungry to see. It would be Ascent. And for KC, they may be able to climb back into this, but surely not in the pistol. You mentioned Elite has had a slower start, and indeed, in both of these maps, the first half has not been kind to him, but the start of the second doesn't look to be any gentler.
So much sort of util and delay. If somebody disrespects it, a lot of the time you're not ready for it. And that's exactly what
Oh
Zeus
my
is
god,
gonna be
Sadak
doing.
with the classic, Tom.
The entire...
3, really, they got to make it close. But if they can contain them to go down to that spike, could definitely leave FUT in an awkward position for the next.
FUT doing well, though. Managing to isolate a lot of these battles, stun coming through to help out. Sure, it's becoming costly, but the main side of the map sells the idea that there's 3 players there. You've seen the smoke go down. You've seen the Harbor util. And well, they've now seen Elite as well. Zeus has been on an absolute tear, even going into this attack side. I was going to say that allowed Martin to quickly get into position, but he was not ready to help out his teammate. And, well, Aves wasn't ready there either. Luckily, the IGL of Sadak has brought this into contention. A nasty spam, which will get him the Reckoning. That's all the information they need.
Yeah, they know exactly where both players are. Flooding back into the site at a Captain, staying up close, will grab Sagetsu and another. It's all on to Sadak. We've seen an ace already, but Mr.
The Sheriff's doing the majority
And that's
of
why
the
they
damage.
didn't get the kill.
Oh, over the top he goes again. Paranoia to support, even leaving him blind after the flying through. Well, for the remaining 4 with only Sheriffs, you can't really expect much here.
No, you really can't.
Don't miss me too.
At least getting an ult out of Cracks, it's some sort of a trade-off, but when it comes to the fights themselves, it's nothing but victory for the attack side with Sagetsu left alone. An 11th round about to be connected on the board. Good shot. And that's about all you're gonna get. No,
Sorry, looking sad on the KC side.
What? Well, he heard you.
Info being filled in at least. In just a moment, that swing is gonna come round from Zeus. Sagetsu's holding it, but the crouch into the angle. Masterful stuff. Sagetsu can't respond in time. Zeus now takes his fight elsewhere. He's looking into the spawn with the ult's being thrown in and having to break the haunt. It pulls Elite's crosshair off the angle. Zeus with more, and it's already 4. Taking a turn FUT fan to another level.
I think that you look at this and go, okay, FUT probably aren't one of the best teams in the EMEA on this map. Zeus might be the best player.
Yep.
Like, genuinely. He just has a field day. I think it was 33 kills the last time they tasted victory on this map, or maybe the time before. And well, I don't think he's going to beat that this time, but just because of the pace of that victory, they finally managed to deal with him. Might be a chance. Somehow the captain has got completely caught.
Not bad.
That was absurd. With Rolling Thunder ready in place, this could catch almost everybody. Immediately thrown through and separating the players. Decent use of the Cove, trying to keep one alive, and that will at least put it all onto Mr. Fallen. 1 versus 3 to try and end this map here and now. First goes his way. Spam doesn't quite connect, but he has been able to deny that defusal, at least for the moment, expecting them to let go. Another kill goes his way, and he will get them all! Players as they attempt to try and rotate in, and giving this agent a post plant is always pretty terrifying. A lot of damage done initially, and Martin thought maybe he was going to be in a sneaky spot, but gets nothing done. Luckily his teammates are doing a fantastic job, even if some of them are low.
Well, that Frenzy could clean them up, but the shots don't land, at least.
Attack is more of what we can expect. Now those 2 duelists will be waiting outside of B. The rest, battling it out here on A.
Look to group up with the rest of the squad, and FUT are not just sitting back. They are taking an awful lot of space, but if anything, the timing couldn't be any better.
Getting the 4 rifles into the A site, and a little bit of a risk being taken by Elite, but of course he is the player that can fall, but playing just
Not ready yet.
with the Ghost.
But he didn't start with it. That's the interesting thing. It was
Sagetsu.
Sadak, so
Oh,
what they did was they sort of swapped it over so that he could farm orbs and try and get towards that deadlock ult, which of course is very good for takes, because if there's a solo player, you can basically pick them out of position and then fight onto anyone else at the same time. For FUT, not wanting to overextend.
KC, attack side, decent weaponry, very good weaponry, in fact, for any fight they go for, and being able to move as a unit always has its advantages. But Mr. Fallen, good to find the...
Already done. This is looking a bit rough for KC.
As push comes to shove, it's out of Captain, who's caught in the corner. Good for 1 and fades his way back out. Beautiful stuff with the Shrouded Step. Zeus with a real opportunity. I think the Paranoia almost just blocked him from vision on the first fight, but nothing stands in his way now. A clean little double.
The feeling that guys is watching.
Might call it. Paranoia is thrown through, but players already wrapping. Mr. Fallen, the first to fall out of Captain, grabs 1, but the wrap up behind him has dealt with him indeed. 33 HP.
But if anything, FUT want that extra time. They're trying to sell the idea that, oh no, nothing's coming in this direction, keep focusing on us, and while they do eventually find that flank, but there's so much more they need to get. Cracks does actually take that one isolated. I was a little bit nervous for him there, but he's on his agent of choice. He's feeling confident, and they're level.
Having with the race as well, so they're going to give it another try. Weaponry is going to be a little bit weaker this time around. Oh, bye.
Well, the early duels was a big conversation on Lotus for Martin. Not getting off to a good start here. Without a Captain firing back and taking another. It's Aves who is able to claim Zeus in the end. And that's been a big troublemaker for them. Even last round, 33 HP after the first fight, still gets 2 more. Now he is in the dirt, and another hero is needed. Thing is, FUT, no shortage of players that can step up in the moments when they're needed. Nice connection by Sugetsu. Elite finishes off Mr. Fallen, and now it's looking a little dicey. Showstopper. Maybe it does need a buff. It finds nothing but Yedaje! The spray for 2 has left Sugetsu with it all to do. Both players tagged at least. Maybe a chance. His ult online with the plant, but what's that going to do for you in a 1v2?
They're grouping up, potentially lining up his TP. Couldn't have been worse time. I don't know what he was expecting to happen, but that couldn't have gone any worse for Sugetsu.
Is it disparity, right?
It's almost like a Count Dracula.
Yeah, but he's so sweet.
Oh, here we go. Zeus is out here looking to claim some scalps, but
He
it's
is out of
Martin
here, I agree.
fighting back. Put it on one side, no follow-up pressure. You know it's fake pressure. Now they're on their way to B with a TP used up by Captain. There are numbers
So
here.
much damage.
That shock dart has done damage, and now so many of them low. Abez and Sadik barely holding on, and another spray down from Yedaje. Sugetsu, no chance but to save this weapon for the next, and that round falls firmly into FUT's grasp.
Sugetsu, only hope here is to just try the side of FUT. An immediate pop of the Hunter's Fury, and it may not have got a kill, but it has done damage, and well, the disruption has also allowed for Captain.
Oh man, Zeus in there with the Outlaw too, and he's got a chance onto every remaining member of KC. One bullet. Only one bullet in the chamber right now. He's going to pop the reload, but if he lands one shot to the chest, Sugetsu, Martin, and Elite will fall by the wayside, so they move away from the Outlaw, but back into the waiting arms of Captain. Paranoia off contact to the cam, repositions, and cleans Martin's head from his shoulders.
The rule about picking a scent into Turkish teams.
They must have
Right now.
forgotten.
Yeah, it's been a while. To be fair to them, the map has not been in the pool for a while, and not many people have been playing it, so they are the team, unfortunately. It looks like they are getting punished, because even just on angles and individual duels, it looks so comfortable for FUT.
Also know that Mr. Fallen is going to be using the ult, so doubling down with the Outlaw just gives you such a good
so much
perspective.
info. That is so much info. It's just making things easier and easier for Zeus. We talked about the setup that this man can sometimes need. Well, that was pretty much a Zeus, they are there. Do what you want with that information.
You know, a long time ago we had those conversations about this map, about it being what the Turkish teams called the 82nd province. And it wasn't that anymore. Teams caught up, teams figured them out. Well, it looks like this might be a return.
Free. And knowing that 4 players are there, Zeus is feeling confident enough to go walkabouts into middle. Shot will be missed, and actually, Captain's the one to bite the bullet.
From the 6th player onto the main roster. This was his first map, actually, playing the race. Oh my god.
Nano's active, they're gonna push them forward. Great setup from Yedaje. That gets Mr. Fallen an easy duel reveal on its way. Didn't get a pulse out, Martin and Elite. Oh, they're overrunning the B site. And now Zeus, the man who has Captain's blood on his hands, well, he's gonna pull off a 1v4 with the op. More likely, he's gotta save this for the next round. They've got plenty of cash. Well, they know where he is now.
Sugetsu not wanting to let him run away with that operator, and he won't.
It's at long last. Focus towards this site. Drone's already gone. I didn't see Yedaje, and now he's filled in the space, but they're ready, they're watching, and Martin's the one to pick him off.
It wasn't really a bait, so that angle was comfortably cleared. Zeus in position though, rifle back in hand, push through the smoke, flash, actually, I think left Mr. Fallen completely blind. These flashes are just not working.
Whoops.
Maybe the update has thrown him off a little bit, but whatever it is, that has not gone well. Even still, they managed to even things back up, turn it to a 3v3.
Chance. Zeus has backup on the side. Captain's just outside. The shots don't land though, and that's a heavy price to be paid. 2 versus 3, and KC are not in a rush. They're waiting for that extra player. They know the rotations will have come through, and as the smokes come back online, they'll still hold the line.
30 seconds left.
Zeus
Just
can
expecting
leave.
that retake, but eventually, well, time ticks away. They have to make a move to the side. They have to walk into Cracks, who's found one already. Waiting for that re-swing, and lines the space. They're sticking around anyways. Zeus was spotted. In comes the showstopper. Dash up top. Good angle. Door closing as well. And Zeus picks him off from above. With the showstopper, it gets them at least that little bit of space. Not sure that they'll be able to get to a position to use it. It's instead going to be kept to be fired in. You would imagine.
Expect that one.
I thought it was going to be fired at the ult. Instead, it's sent straight into heaven. An attempt to drop these players. A very early ultimate put through by Elite. But his teammate sees there's only one player they have to focus on. That looks like a bit of a mistake from KC. Success. 4 FUT now 8-3 in the lead.
I think there was the spot. Had a captain again set up ready with that paranoia, likely to potentially put a couple into play. No, he's putting himself into play. He's going for it alongside the Hunter's Fury. It's all too easy. The second that ult is online for
Nano standing in their way, it's been heard. But the second he spams at this, he better hit it. He gets it. Okay, that's something to start with. And knows there's a player close, but didn't know about Zeus up top. 9.
Really going to get the information on one. Paranoia immediately thrown, but I think Zeus was a little bit delayed to try and make that move. Over the top he goes, but he is left completely blind. I wonder whose flash that was.
Yeah, it's not a track record that's looking too clean so far. The lead down below still to be taken out. Krax is the one to do it, but Avez straight back in there. Martine in the same boat as the defenders flood back into the site. And KC will claim the...
Awkward to face into than most setups you have if you're dashing in. So if you can just remove all of that on your way through, that could be huge. For Sugetsu, fairly easy kill to start things off.
They'll have the ult online for next. If Krax can just get away with a 4K, he'll get nothing though. Put to bed right away, 3 orbs away. Coming into the next, and they can try to farm those in the rifle round, I suppose, for KC. They know exactly where Mr. Fallen is. It's a classic in hand, and really no challenge should be presented. Big investment from the defenders, 2 kills, and they'll feel the pinch.
But again, this is where you look at Elite as one of the players that could potentially do that damage. Martine already going to be forced out. Sugetsu was the second layer to that mid.
Just about snuck into this corner. They have no idea that he's here. He can't even wait out the paranoia and claim a clean double. Now they'll know. Now they'll turn to deal with him, but it's Zeus on the back foot as Sugetsu easily deals. Those nade, I think, grab net as well, but no one's going to be caught. FUT being quite cautious around that A-long angle, and it's the push up through short where the main body of force is coming. Avez, not a captain to get some damage late round, although I see him rotating already. Looks like they'll just commit to a full B pump.
Cross being held. All too easy.
Rifle down.
And retrieving it. A little bit tougher than the last. Smoke has to be used, but at this stage, that time is starting to get to a point where finding any impact almost seems impossible.
Scanning ahead.
Sadak, knowing the positions that have been given up, is not really willing to just let this go for free, and with the sensors also catching them as they drop down. Spike only just going back into that, and this round seems more than done, but Crack still manages to find one here.
Hey, Plantis a Plantis, get some money here. The drone is going to spot him.
Drone didn't turn around for Ada Captain, but luckily they'll deal with him anyways. In goes the second nade off the kill. Avez able to box Cracks into the corner. Nice stuff.
Well, you're not as sneaky as you think, Martine. Timmy the turret is not going to be falling for that. Zeus, though.
Avez is.
This is the thing. You know how good he can be individually. Mentioned that Elite being caught by the null command. It's an important ult. It was one they were building towards. And now with the quick res, much faster. How back Cracks can be. 2 players left. Economy's good, but I think holding on to the operator is going to be far more important than fighting for this round.
5v2, Yedajay containing them as well. Even holding onto these weapons could be difficult, but won't be, as they're spotted fall through. And it will catch some info. The spam now with the trap, stunning Cracks, but he won't be punished. Zeus is up close. Avez and Sugetsu on their way, and that's one picked off immediately. Pressure on backside, Bladestorm active! They don't land though. Luckily, Cracks is there to save the day. But there's still some saving to be done at 2 versus 3 that were left in, and a shoulder routine that brings us back even. Bladestorm up top, doesn't land. 3 blades left. Needs the kill to refresh them. The Bladestorm is hunting them down, but Zeus from down below.
The fight were nigh on impossible. Already. Knife is going to catch. No opportunity to get away, but with an easy pick onto Yedajay, it's no problem.
Showstopper fired in. Navex connects it. This time a clean kill. And the advantage hammered home. Cracks. Oh no! It looked like it could have gotten very awkward, but Sagetsu's there to keep numbers in their favor. Now they'll look to isolate him with an aid into the right side. They know that he must be on the left, but the reveal is pixel perfect from
them to almost sell the idea that this could potentially still be an A hit. They've held long enough. They know. An aggressive position though. And you should never doubt Mr. Fallen in these clutch scenarios. So good in the late round, forced to crouch, but they get isolated into the 1 versus 1. Tries to bait the peak, and well, Sugetsu takes the bait, but wins the fight anyway.
Fights the hook clean off the line there.
I thought it was Lotus all over again. I
could have
thought I
been.
saw that 1v3, gets the spike down. Mr. Fallen knows he can win the round. And Sugetsu. He's just dancing.
Do you reckon
you know.
they're having a mini tactical pause?
Probably, yeah. Like if you have the time, why not?
They've almost
Already on the site, he uses his ult to get in there, and the rest of the squad, I mean, they're on their way, but they're almost still in the behind the spawn walls. This is going to be a big battle for Captain, and he's on his own, finding just the one, and then they walk right into Martine. They're still pushing the site where the rotations will undoubtedly have come in, considering the ult from Captain. Cracks good for one, but the op is still running riot on backside. Sadik, shock dart through, they know without a doubt that this man is here. They have a choice on where they take it, just a pixel away. Sagetsu will find one. And they know this can be an easy wrap from Zeus to the other side of the map, but he wants to force the issue, force the fight, catch Sadik unaware. And they just do that. 40 seconds. Reveal goes deep, and he just about dodges it. Sadik should think he's on the other side of the map now. This swing, caution!
Firing squad lining up outside of the site to try and spam their way through. Middle has been taken, the drone utilized, but that's the kill that was needed. Zeus removed, utility offline.
That was a really clean shot. Straight through the smoke, good spam, good prediction on the player. Yetajay very low, Captain up close, and he's taking a fight alone with the advantage, with the time on their side. That is a mistake, as we can see, plain as day. Utility cut off for a moment, but the ult now fading. Zeus up close. They should know these players have been quite aggressive. They now know about Zeus. He's got a little bit of backup from main, and he got a lot done there. A three-piece. And with Yetajay low, it's the site itself that we look to for the fights. Cracks and Mr. Fallen, an op to contend with. A shot from Sagetsu and Martine that leaves Yetajay alone, trying to do it all. The defuse baits him in, and Sagetsu with a three-piece of his own puts them right to the previous map. FUT were in full control, a 9-3 scoreline here then as well. It seemed like KC had ran out of steam, but that is far from the truth. An opening for Sadik. Pistols in play for FUT. They are conceding this round. Good chance to at least do damage onto Martine, but he's got backup. Sadik's on the rotate. Mid control is theirs. And no upsets here with the pistols from what we're seeing. 11-11. The game really is on.
Looking like a trusty in-zone flawless. An immediate pop of the Hunter's Fury, and it has been dodged. Over the top goes Zeus, but Sadik, I don't know if he's been seen. I don't think he's been spotted at all. It's completely fallen flat again. One player in the site, but that player might just be enough.
Where's it going? It's a player in main, but they don't know. They'll go for backside. Great connect. That's Mr. Fallen taken. Zeus holds the line, grabs one more, and Yetajay's in. It's a 1v1 with Mr. Fallen already taken and dealt with. Nano activated. You hear the sound cue. He's got another. It doesn't quite get put out in time. Elite already getting it to halfway. Yetajay playing with him, and
Res, or I don't know, something that can make him hit headshots even better. I don't know how it made a difference, and well, you can't afford to miss versus this man. You get
5, the demon lives, and it's not looking like there'll be an easy way back through for KC. The Blade Storm of Martine needs to be big, and it's shut down from miles away. FUT, they stalled